I would never see it in a million years.
Everyone says that. You know, me and him have been friends for 16 years.
I know you had a song like 15 years ago.
Yeah,
too,
we've
right?
been like besties for a long time.
People always say that. But
No, this is real. Like no cross the line.
besties, like you always kept in touch and you always talked.
We would keep in touch. He would come see me when I had my plays. When I had my baby shower, he would come. Like we were really friends.
Baby
when I was
shower,
pregnant,
like before.
married.
Wow.
You know, we'd say, T, what you doing? Okay, me and my boys gonna stop past there for a few. You hear me? Okay.
That's really good,
Come
Toni.
see me.
That's really good.
So we've been friends for a long time.
All right, so it's not that weird.
No, not for me. My mom loves him because he what Big Mama doing? He would just ask about my mom. He's a gentleman. He's such a gentleman.
Is he?
What?
I could see that.
Opening doors, and he's just a gentleman. I promise you.
Do you find it weird that other people find it weird?
No.
No, because you get it.
I get why they think it's weird.
It's
but
not
they don't
weird.
know him like I know him.
Yeah.
He's very traditional.
No way.
I
he has
promise
a star
you.
on his head.
Okay, yeah, that. But he's very traditional about family and values. He has 2 kids by his high school sweetheart.
Well, this one right here got me shook for real. Word on the street is that Toni Braxton and Birdman went and pulled off a top-secret marriage last year, only to throw in the towel less than 48 hours later. Can you imagine tying the knot and then breaking it off before the ink on the marriage license even dries?
He's just very traditional. Same baby mama. He had his kids when he was in his late 20s. He's like, no, he's just...
These are the things that are important to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always a gentleman to me.
Yeah.
Around me.
And he seems like the type of guy that will lavish you.
It's not just that, because I got my own money.
Of course
you know what I'm
you
saying?
do.
What people don't know, 2016 November when I was on tour October, I was really sick. I don't mean kind of sick. I mean like really,
From the
really
lupus?
sick.
Or
Yeah, I had a
from-
really
okay.
bad flare, and I was on tour. And every day I was on tour, he was there with me. If he left out, he would come back.
And this is before anybody knew you
we
guys
weren't
were
anything.
even,
It was
but-
buddies. It was
Right.
nothing. Not even a day. He was my friend. And he was there. I don't know if
he
you ever
already loved you. He's there every day taking care of you.
But you know, he really was there every day. My buddy, my friend T, you all right? You good? I'm cheering good. You know, he was just there as my
cheering.
friend. I'm cheering good. Big Mama good. He was there every day for the shows. And on my off days, he would go and take care of his business, but he would follow me on the bus and just make sure I was okay. And I don't know if you've ever been really, really sick in your life and you feel kind of hopeless and you got somebody who's a friend that's there. That's kind of, it just made me see him differently. Like this person really cares for me. It was really a bad moment. I mean, I can tell you guys now that is over. I was really, really sick.
Are you guys a couple?
Well, T, that's my girl, my friend, my family.
Do you have sex?
That's my love, my soldier, my life. She my everything, and I trust
Because you
her.
bought her a Bentley truck.
Yes,
So the implication is that's your girlfriend.
she my life.
That's wild. Miss Toni, we need you front and center because the streets are buzzing and nobody's buying the silence. Like, what made you wake up 2 days later and say, nah, this ain't it?
But there's no date.
There's no date. We almost had a date. Well, we had 2 dates, but we were doing Braxton Family Values and we were going through a little drama. And I was like, okay, the wedding is a good thing to get all of us sisters together.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get us all together. And I said, the wedding's not a good reason because it's messing up my relationship a little bit. He's like, come on, Michelle, set a date. I know.
That's what he calls you?
Calls me Michelle. Doesn't call me Toni at all. That's my middle name, Toni Michelle. Yeah.
Set a date.
Said it. He said before the year's out, so I have, what, a couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
And Birdman, don't think you're off the hook either because this drama got both of y'all looking like love is a game of musical chairs instead of something serious.
I'll tell you a crazy story. I have a neighbor, very successful. So he wakes me up, says, yo, come over to my house. We having a celebration. He had just sold his company for like 400 million. Everybody knew, it was everywhere. And his wife does the ding, 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 ding with the cup. And she gives the most beautiful speech. I love this man. This man's the greatest ever. 7 a.m. on Instagram, the wife files for divorce.
Yo. The next day.
Premeditated murder.
At y'all's big ages, nobody expected y'all to be out here playing trial runs with marriage like it's some quick weekend fling. This isn't a Vegas slot machine. It's supposed to be a lifetime commitment. And yet somehow it turned into a 48-hour soap opera. You know what makes this whole situation even messier? The whispers on the block are saying that this so-called marriage and quickie divorce might not have even been about love at all.
Birdman said he was with Toni Braxton for 18 years. She convinced him to get married. He did no paperwork. She got a divorce in 2 weeks. and caught him for mega millions. He said the fix was in. This Birdman saying it. He's saying
Oh, he did no prenup?
He was with a no prenup. When we discussed this story in my house, people were saying
about
karma.
this?
No,
you
this ain't
standing on
tabloid.
this or this
No, I'm not standing on this. I'm not at the divorce, bro. I'm telling you what the streets are saying and the Birdman said. The Birdman said he was with her for 18 years, married her, he had no paperwork. She got him. I don't even want to tell you the number. The number's the price of this building.
The price of this building.
Yo, no, they're serious. The price of a high rise in New York City.
Some folks swear it was Toni running a slick little hustle on Birdman. Word is, she's been strapped for cash, and people are out here claiming she went into survival mode.
Like a lot of people don't understand, my second bankruptcy was because I was sick. I have lupus, and my show in Vegas got canceled.
And the insurance wouldn't cover
The
it.
insurance didn't cover it, so I had to pay myself. And so
That's a lot. That was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money to put up a show. People don't understand this. If you see a concert, you see the lights, you see the band on stage, the artist pays for all that. The hotel rooms, the salary, but then you have nothing left.
That's got everybody clutching their pearls. Because if that's true, then what we're looking at isn't a love story. It's a full-blown money play dressed up in wedding vows. And let's be real, the talk about Toni's finances isn't new. People have been side-eyeing her pockets for years, reminding everybody about the bankruptcy headlines and the rumors that her lifestyle was running faster than her checks. So now, the idea that she might have said, "I do," just to spin around and say, "I don't," for a quick come-up. That's the kind of plot twist that got folks pulling up chairs like it's movie night. To really understand how wild this two-day marriage and split sounds, you gotta look at their history. Toni and Birdman weren't just some random fling thrown together overnight. They had been tight for years, calling each other friends long before the headlines ever linked them romantically. That's why the streets were caught off guard when, out of nowhere, they decided to go public with their relationship back in June 2016. People had to do a double take because nobody saw that coming. And if that wasn't enough, the rumors only grew louder a year later when whispers started flying that the two had already eloped in 2017. Blogs were spinning, insiders were hinting, and fans swore the quiet little ceremony had already gone down. But Toni herself stepped up to shut that chatter all the way down, saying it just wasn't true. Still, the denial didn't stop people from keeping their eyes glued to them, because by that point, everybody was starting to realize this wasn't just another industry friendship. This was something messier, deeper, and way more complicated than the public could guess. Toni did finally open up about the relationship herself during a 2018 interview with People magazine, and the way she described it had everyone raising eyebrows. She admitted that their bond went way back, and even she never expected it to turn into something romantic. In her own words, "He's been my bestie for like 15 or 16 years. He's come to my baby showers, my plays, my shows. I never thought we would be dating or getting married." Hearing that straight from Toni shocked a lot of folks because it painted Birdman not as just another music mogul she crossed paths with, but as someone who had been sitting right there in her inner circle for over a decade. Fans couldn't believe it. How do you go from calling somebody your best friend, the one clapping for you at family milestones and cheering at your shows, to suddenly becoming husband and wife? That twist alone had people talking. Because it's one thing to date a new flame, but it's a whole other storm when you flip the script and marry your bestie of 15 years. Toni even shared just how deeply Birdman's support hit her during some of her most vulnerable moments, and honestly, it caught fans off guard. She said, "It's comforting to have someone tell you it's okay to be ill and that you don't have to be Wonder Woman at all times." Every night he would ask me, "Are you okay? Are you good?" I said, "Oh my God, he's such a great guy." That right there gave everyone a glimpse of a softer side to Birdman that most people had never seen before. Not the tough business mogul image, but a man who actually cared about her well-being. And then came the part that made the story sound straight out of a movie. Toni revealed that when Birdman finally made his move, he confessed he had always liked her. She said, "When Birdman finally made his move, he told me he always liked me," and I was like, "You never told me?" That line shook fans because it painted their romance like a slow-burn story waiting to ignite. For years, he'd been quietly holding those feelings, showing up for her without ever letting it slip. And then, just like that, he dropped the truth, leaving Toni and everybody else stunned. And that's when Birdman finally laid it all out. Toni remembered him saying, "Well, you were married." Then he hit her with the real truth. "I was always digging you." That simple confession turned their whole friendship upside down. For years, he had been right there in the picture, hiding how he really felt, and suddenly it all spilled out like something you'd see in a dramatic love story. Fans couldn't believe the way this tough music boss softened up and admitted he had been holding on to those feelings the entire time. But what really made people look twice was how Toni explained the depth of their connection. especially while she was dealing with her lupus. Battling a disease that carries the constant threat of blood clots and pulmonary embolisms can drain a person mentally, physically, and emotionally. Yet Toni said she never had to put on a mask with Birdman. She never had to fake strength or act like she wasn't struggling, because he always understood. That level of patience and care from someone the world saw as a hard-edged mogul made their story feel even more unbelievable. Like he wasn't just in her corner, he was protecting her peace in ways nobody expected. Toni opened up even further, giving the world an intimate look at just how much Birdman's presence meant to her during some of her most vulnerable moments. She said, "I can get on television when I'm having a terrible day and tell them it's a good day and he'll say, 'No, it's not.'" That line hit hard, because it showed how he could see right through the image she put on for cameras and fans. He knew the real her. She admitted, "I can tell I've always had issues dating because I was ashamed to have lupus and felt like no one would want to take care of a woman with lupus. I was insecure with him. I can be comfortable with a little hat or SC on with some lipstick and mascara, but I can just let my hair down a little bit." Those words stopped people in their tracks, because Toni revealed something that so many never knew, that behind all the glam, all the awards, all the powerhouse performances, she still carried insecurities that made her feel unworthy of love. And yet, here was Birdman, a man who saw past all of that, making her feel safe enough to drop the mask, kick back, and simply be herself. That kind of love and support felt so good for Toni that eventually Birdman decided to lock it down with a proposal. And it turned into one of the biggest talking points of their entire relationship. Toni even shared photos online, captioning them, "From the moment a couple minutes before we got engaged, then 24 hours after." One picture showed the couple snapping a cozy selfie, all smiles like they were on top of the world, and the other had them hugged up tight with Toni's brand new rock shining so bright it could blind you. That ring wasn't just jewelry. It was proof to the world that Birdman had stepped out of the friend zone and was claiming Toni in the boldest way possible. And if that wasn't enough to make headlines, Birdman himself doubled down on the love story during a sit-down with Wendy Williams. He couldn't stop gushing, calling Toni his love, his soldier, his life, his everything, and he even said he loved her to death. That confession set the internet on fire because, let's be real, nobody expected Birdman, the same man known for his tough, unshakable persona, to melt down in front of Wendy like that. It painted him as a man who wasn't just smitten, he was head over heels, willing to risk looking soft in front of millions just to let everybody know Toni was the one. For her part, Toni also shared her side of the engagement, and it revealed just how complicated things were behind the scenes. She admitted that they actually almost had a wedding date. In fact, 2 dates. But timing and family drama kept getting in the way. With cameras rolling for Braxton family values and tension bubbling between her sisters, Toni explained that she thought the wedding could be the perfect excuse to bring everybody together, like one big moment of unity. She figured nothing could bond her family tighter than celebrating her happiness. But sadly, it didn't play out that way. In her interview with People, Toni admitted she just couldn't get all of her sisters in the same place at the same time. That hurt, because she wanted the wedding to be more than just vows. She wanted it to heal her family. Still, she stayed optimistic and spoke with genuine excitement about tying the knot. She said, "This is my second wedding and I'm over 40. It's like Carrie Bradshaw, the last bride over 40. So I want something that's elegant and a little sexy." That quote had people buzzing because it gave major Sex in the City vibes, a glamorous comeback moment for a woman who had been through heartbreak, illness, and career ups and downs. But behind the sparkle, you could already feel the cracks forming, because if the sisters couldn't come together for her big day, what else was brewing in the background? Toni even got into the details of what she envisioned for the big day, and her description painted a glamorous picture. She said, "I've already done the beautiful belle dress at my first wedding. This time I want something that's more vintage, 20s and 30s like, Great Gatsby themed." That vision had fans imagining feathers, pearls, jazz music, and old Hollywood sparkle, basically a wedding straight out of a movie set. And it wasn't just Toni who had requests. Birdman had his own must-haves too, and they were a lot less glamorous. Toni revealed, "He said he wants macaroni and cheese." I said, "Can we have macaroni and cheese balls to keep it pretty?" That little detail made people laugh because it showed just how different their vibes really were. Toni dreaming up elegance and sophistication, Birdman just wanting comfort food on the menu. She also said she'd let him have input on the location, adding, "We talked about Atlanta, but he said no because he didn't want any remnants of my first wedding." That comment alone told fans that even though they were planning something new, the past was still haunting them in little ways. But here's the kicker. The wedding never actually happened. According to Toni, they kept pushing the date back because of work commitments. Yet insiders whispered that excuse was nothing but smoke. People said flat out, if Toni really wanted to marry Birdman, she would have made it happen. So the fact that she kept stalling, that was the red flag waving right in everybody's face. Remember, Not long after all those wedding delays, Toni dropped a bombshell that had everybody scratching their heads. She claimed she lost her $1 million engagement ring to an apparent theft after leaving it inside her checked luggage on a flight. Now, let's be real. Who puts a ring worth 7 figures in checked baggage instead of keeping it on their finger or in a carry-on? The story sounded suspicious from the jump, and fans were quick to say the whole situation felt super fishy. Was it really stolen, or was there something else going on behind the scenes? And right when the mystery around the missing ring had everybody talking, the real drama hit. Toni and Birdman officially broke up in 2019. Out of nowhere, Birdman dropped a solitary and cryptic post on Instagram with just 2 words: "It's over." That caption set the internet on fire because it gave no explanation, no context, just cold finality. To make matters even messier, he then went on a deleting spree, wiping every single picture of Toni from his account like she had never existed. That's when fans knew the breakup wasn't just quiet. It was explosive, with Birdman sending a clear message without ever saying her name. On the other side of the breakup mess, Toni seemed to be sending her own cryptic message to the world. She posted a stunning photo of herself in a red gown, captioned with the words, "Starting a new chapter isn't always an easy choice, but always choose to be chosen. Cheers to a new year." Fans immediately took it as her way of saying she was moving on, finding her strength again, and closing the Birdman chapter for good. But then, just weeks later, the story flipped upside down. The two shocked everyone when they appeared to reconcile on stage during Toni's tour stop at the legendary Fox Theater in Atlanta, Georgia. The energy, the chemistry, the way they looked at each other. The crowd lost their minds, convinced the couple was back on. But the roller coaster didn't stop there. Fast forward to December 2023, and Toni once again had to jump online to shut down the wedding talk. She literally clapped back at the rumors with a hashtag, writing #fake news on Instagram. Her exact words were, "My dear friend at Birdman and I are not married, never been married. We are both single. That should have been the end of it. But here's where it gets insane. What we're now finding out is that Toni and Birdman did secretly tie the knot, only to separate literally 48 hours later. Like, what the hell is going on?" Fans are shook, because it means the very thing she denied might have been the biggest secret she was keeping from everyone. First of all, let's talk about the court documents that blew the lid off this whole situation. TMZ managed to get their hands on the paperwork, and what they found had jaws dropping. Toni and Birdman tried to keep things low-key by only using their initials, TB and BW, probably hoping that nobody would connect the dots. But come on, it didn't take a detective to figure out exactly who those initials belonged to. The second those documents surfaced, everybody knew we were looking at none other than Toni Braxton and Birdman. And the details inside were even more shocking. According to the paperwork, the two secretly tied the knot on August 8th. That's right. They really did get married, just like the whispers suggested. But here's the kicker. The same documents show that they separated on August 10th. Literally 2 days later, it was over. Fans couldn't believe it. A marriage that took years of rumors, interviews, and build-up, only to last 48 hours on paper. That revelation turned what was once just speculation into a certified scandal. Proof that this whirlwind wedding was real. And it collapsed almost as fast as it began. Then came the next bombshell. Toni actually filed for divorce just 2 weeks after the secret marriage. In the documents, Toni and her attorney didn't hold back, calling the marriage irretrievably broken. That wording alone told the world everything. Whatever went down in those 48 hours must have been serious enough for her to want out immediately. Fans were floored because it made the whole marriage look like it had collapsed before it even had a chance to begin. But here's where the real plot twist comes in. Yes, the documents confirmed they separated just 2 days after saying, "I do." But when everyone thought this saga was officially over, another curveball hit. Toni quietly dismissed the divorce petition in January 2025, which means, as of right now, they are still legally husband and wife. That revelation flipped the entire narrative upside down. How do you file for divorce, call the marriage broken beyond repair, and then turn around and cancel it months later? It's the kind of move that left fans, bloggers, and even insiders completely confused, and wondering if this story is truly over or if there's another storm still brewing. But as for whether Toni and Birdman are happily married right now, child, that's a mystery nobody seems to have the answer to. On paper, yes, they're still legally bound, but in reality, all the signs scream that this relationship is done. Neither of them has been spotted rocking wedding rings in public, and if you check their Instagram accounts, both of them have wiped away almost every trace of each other. That's not what happily ever after looks like. That's what we're moving on feels like. And let's not forget the part that sent social media into a frenzy. The whispers that Toni allegedly walked away with a serious bag of cash tied to the marriage fallout. Suddenly, the theory that this whole thing might have been a money play gained even more traction. Fans couldn't stop talking, with one person commenting, "I thought Toni and that weirdo broke up a long time ago. Come to find out they were married." That reaction summed up the internet perfectly. Shock, confusion, and disbelief all rolled into one. Nobody expected a secret wedding, let alone a 2-day split. And now, with talk of money being involved, the entire saga feels less like a love story and more like a script straight out of a messy reality show. Why Toni Braxton, a living legend in music, finds herself in this kind of scandal is the real question. The internet had a field day with the revelations, and fans didn't hold back their opinions. One person wrote, "Toni Braxton got tired of the marriage and filed for divorce. Birdman will have to pay her more than half of his over $160 million fortune for investing so much in their one-month marriage." Another joked that out of 24 hours in a day, you should use 22 hours to fear women, after hearing rumors about Toni allegedly walking away with millions from the split. And honestly, the money talk doesn't come out of nowhere. People have been watching Toni's financial story play out for decades. Everyone remembers the reports about how she generated millions for her record label, Arista, yet was supposedly making less than 35 cents per album sold. That shocking number had fans outraged, because how can someone sell out arenas and top the charts only to pocket literal pennies from the music? That's what pushed Toni to file a lawsuit against the label. And just 8 weeks later, in January 1998, she also filed for bankruptcy. Those struggles painted her as both a powerhouse talent and someone constantly battling money woes behind the glamour. So when fans hear rumors that she may have secured a serious payout from this whirlwind marriage, it instantly ties back to that long history of financial ups and downs, making this saga feel even messier and more believable. Later on, Toni opened up about just how deep her financial troubles really went, and the details were shocking. She revealed that she had to declare bankruptcy because of recording contract issues so bad that they left her earning less than $2,000 in royalties, despite being one of the biggest names in R&B at the time. On top of that insult, she was also forced to reimburse her record label for clothes, travel, studio sessions, and even music video costs. Basically, every dollar she thought she was making was already being eaten up before it could even touch her pocket. And the scandal didn't stop there. Court records accused Toni of fraudulently transferring $53,490 to her then-husband, Kerry Lewis, in an attempt to shield money from creditors while her bankruptcy case was still active. That accusation painted her as not just unlucky, but also possibly sneaky with her finances, and it left a stain on her reputation that critics didn't let her forget. Around this same time, Toni sat down for a highly publicized interview with Oprah, expecting that telling her side of the story might finally win her some sympathy. But instead, the interview went south fast. Toni later admitted that she walked away from it feeling humiliated, demeaned, and completely misunderstood. She felt Oprah came across as judgmental, condescending, and unsympathetic, more focused on poking at her mistakes than actually showing compassion. For a superstar already struggling with health issues and money woes, that moment on national television only added to the weight of her public embarrassment. Anywho, by 2010, Toni's money problems circled back once again when she was forced to file for bankruptcy a second time. This time because her health took a major hit. She was diagnosed with microvascular angina and later lupus, two conditions that forced her to cancel her incredibly lucrative Las Vegas residency. That residency was supposed to be her big financial comeback, but instead, it left her drowning in canceled contracts, medical bills, and lost opportunities. And it didn't stop there. Fast forward to 2019, and Toni was right back in the headlines over financial trouble. The IRS hit her with a lien on December 4th, saying she owed a staggering $340,252.99 in back taxes for 2017. Just days later, the State of California Franchise Tax Board piled on with another lien, demanding $116,154.64 in unpaid taxes. Add it all together, and she was looking at nearly $500,000 in back taxes. Fans couldn't help but connect those dots with all those money woes. Was it really so far-fetched to believe that the whirlwind marriage and lightning-fast divorce might have been about financial survival? Some people swear it was nothing but a money grab, while others think maybe it was all a cooked-up storyline for the cameras. Whatever the truth is, one thing's for sure. The shenanigans between Toni Braxton and Birdman are some of the wildest we've seen in years. From secret weddings, to 48-hour separations, to financial scandals that never seem to end, this saga has everything. But now it's your turn. Why do you think Toni and Birdman tied the knot and then split just 2 days later? Was it about the cash? Was it about clout? Or was it simply chaos? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next story. See you on the next one.